Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's Mic Check. Now, you might notice, if you're on YouTube, you might notice that we don't have one for last week. Interesting story that we got trolled. That's fun. Hey, at least we're big enough to get trolled, right? But we've done a lot of changes to our safety measures. There we go. Sorry, I call myself a voice actor. I can't talk. Then again, that happens every single week. We've done a lot of changes to our security, so that should be a problem we don't run into in the future. And on top of that, we are breaking out on our own. We're now just the Mic Check. That's us every single week right here. The format hasn't changed. The content hasn't changed. It's just we're now our own entity. So, hey, cool. Anyway, this week we are actually going to be redoing our script from last week because we were interrupted so rudely. But we don't have any volunteers to go first quite yet. Would anybody like to give this one a go first?
Oh, I see.
Got my hand up.
Dan.
Oh, okay, Philip. Sorry, Philip was the first one to pop up on my screen. Just so everybody knows, this is my only window into the Mic Check. It's this phone right here. So if I, don't see you, I'm sorry. I can't see all windows at once.
Philip made noise.
So, Dan, why don't you... Dan, what am I saying?
Yeah, sure.
Philip.
Yes?
Philip, why don't you go ahead and go first?
All right.
And then you get to choose who goes after you.
All right. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty, barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecued pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef, topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. Who's going next?
How about Leonard?
Okay. Let me rearrange. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle. And John, go next.
You're muted.
Take 2. White Castle's bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecued bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef, topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle, rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue's back at White Castle. How about Frank?
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle. All right, now I'm going to get somebody to blow my accent right out of the water. I'll get Dan to do it.
All right. White Castle's bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue's back at White Castle. Joe.
Okay. Let's see.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty, barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Richard?
All right. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty, barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So go on White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle. Sean?
All right. White Castle's bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle. Nathan.
White Castle's bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
That leaves Michael.
Last but certainly least. All right. White Castle is bringing salsa back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Yeah.
Okay then.
I
So
actually
now-
have to say, that all of them were excellent Southern accents of different parts of the South.
Yes.
But the direction said slight twang, and I think most of us kind of overdid it.
I didn't even read the directions.
On the other hand, Frank and Richard sounded the hungriest and like they were sickest of eating beans.
Nathan sounded like Shaggy's Alabama cousin.
Yeah. Like, I didn't know I had a cousin in Alabama. That's pretty cool.
All right, so Now,
Joe's version made me smile the whole way through.
Oh yeah, it was a good read.
so now we go ahead and get on to the discussion portion of the mic check. What did you all notice about the different reads? Were there any that stuck out to you? Was there anything specific that stuck out to you? Let's talk a little bit about what we heard so far. Let me hear it.
I like the,
Go ahead, Joe.
sorry. I was going to say, I like the pacing differences aside from the accents and things, because a lot of the times what I get caught in is I'll get caught in. Sometimes they give you more copy on the audition than will fit in 30 seconds, and so I'll rush it. And I know when I hear the actual commercial, I hear it and it's like, oh, they just cut some of the copy out, and it's actually a slower read that they wanted. So my default pacing is fast, and so hearing the other pacings, you hear more of a emphasis on the individual words, and you get more of a lilt in things. It's I think that was the most fascinating thing.
Well, and that's the beauty of something like this is we can take our time because nobody tries to hit 30 on these things, really. I mean, we can if we have to, but nobody really tries to, I don't think. Just get to have fun with them.
Yeah. Figure out the pacing and maybe not so much the pacing, but what the meaning is of the words and who are you actually presenting your talk to? Are you, like it says, you're talking to yourself, in my opinion, through the first of it. And then, Frank, I'm like you, when it switches to get along, it's a sales point to somebody somewhere. He's talking to someone besides himself, in my opinion, at that point.
You know, I was actually thinking about it, and I was thinking if this was, as you said, Michael, this is a TV spot. I'm thinking the first one is he's sitting around the campfire, and he's got the guitar in his hand, and he's kind of looking waywardly up to the sky, and he's thinking. And then when he says so get along to White Castle, I'm picturing him looking at the camera and then breaking that, whatever that's called, that fourth barrier or whatever. The fourth wall, and talking to whoever's watching the commercial at that point and telling them, so get along to White Castle and rope yourself. You know, not anybody around a campfire. He's basically now talking to the audience at that point, whoever's watching the commercial. So I think it does both. He's talking to himself, and then he does the sales pitch. He's in the same character at that point.
Mm-hmm. Mike's going to screen share on his phone. Watch. He's looking for the original commercial.
No, sorry. I've got a lot going on, so I'm trying to juggle a few things. I'm sorry.
Asking there.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, I'm actually in that same boat. I can see, like, you're talking to yourself, but like you've been on the road for months, so you haven't really had anybody else to talk to, and he's starting to talk to himself. And the get along to White Castle is him telling him, like, in his head, that he needs to go get some food.
Yeah.
I actually just caught the gist of that. Is there's a radio spot that I did where I had one of my characters that I was doing start talking to the audience, because he's like having a conversation. You know, it's Billy Bob and Ray, and Ray's talking to Billy Bob about this great radio station. And then he turns around and he mentions something about the radio station to the audience. You know, of course, that adds a little bit of a comedic thing into it, because I have Billy Bob at the end going, Ray, who are you talking to? So it goes along those same lines.
It's almost like he's saying, so come on, I'm heading there. So why don't you guys come and join me at White Castle, and we'll get some barbecue sliders and fries for only $9.99.
Yeah, there's like 3 rabbits sitting there looking at him.
Yeah, because I can't take another plate of beans, I swear.
And I agree with what you said as well, Joe, about the fact that, you know, you'd get a spot like this, you'd go into the studio. If you read it the way you want to read it, it probably comes in closer to 40 than 30 seconds. Mm-hmm. So at that point, they either have to sacrifice
quality or speed,
or they have to start taking words out at that point. And it happens all the time. It's very rare you get a commercial that's really well written that boom is bang on 30 seconds.
No, yeah, not for commercials. Now, promotional stuff, you know, television promos, those are usually pretty tight. But commercials are a little more flexible. I think it'd be, it'd probably say it's 30 and it'll probably go 32.
Yeah, but you can't do that. That's the thing. They have to be 30 seconds. If they're sold as a 30, they have to be a 30.
Yeah, but this might be a 45-second commercial with a 30-second VO too. So
you'd be surprised what I've come across in television.
Well, I mean, depends on the station, but I mean, most fairly substantial commercial stations, if they're selling a 30-second spot, it's 30 seconds. It's not 32, 33, whatever. I mean,
cut
you're
off
buying
the last 2 seconds.
Well, no, they don't cut off the last 2 seconds, but they cut words out so that, and they just tell the announcer, read it faster. So
yeah,
one of the two.
But don't make it sound like you're reading fast. I love those directions.
Yeah.
One of the things that another thing that they'll do is they'll often just take out the spaces between what you have to say. So it just sounds like you're talking over yourself.
There's that, and then it's not uncommon, depending on what the script is. It's not uncommon for them to speed it up too once it's recorded.
No, for them to speed it up or just chop out words, chop out whole sections you've read.
Mm-hmm. They can do a ton of stuff in post-production.
Like, I know that was 25.
Anyway, sorry, I got off topic there.
That actually kind of all fits together. It really does.
So what are we doing here, ladies and gentlemen?
All right, so let's go ahead and break it down. What are we doing? What is going to be our group agreed upon direction for this particular script? Let's go ahead and go line by line, talk about it a little bit. So White Castle is bringing Saucy back. Where do you think we need to have emphases, or what kind of wordplay is it setting up for? What's going on here?
Definitely emphasis on White Castle, because that's the brand.
And then what's coming back is Saucy.
Yeah.
Saucy's
coming back.
Saucy would be, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So White Castle is bringing Saucy back. So White Castle and Saucy are the two main things. So tangy, zesty, barbecue, saucy. What's going on there?
Gotta see it. Mouth salivatingly yummy, tangy, zesty, barbecue saucy.
And you got a rule of threes, right? Tangy, zesty barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not just any other kind of saucy. It's tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. It ain't sour saucy. Yeah.
Well, tangy is kind of sour, but
so
well, I don't think you want to emphasize saucy again because you have it up above and then it just wouldn't sound right.
Yeah,
so I
it would sound really awkward.
Yeah,
I feel like you would want to
zesty barbecue.
Yeah, barbecue is what I think.
I think the barbecue is
the barbecue saucy.
Yeah, tangy, zesty
Or
barbecue.
I don't think it's a rule of threes actually, Joe, because I think zesty barbecue might be one whole thing.
Okay. That's what I was actually considering.
Because there's no comma in there.
Yeah.
So it might be tangy, zesty barbecue saucy.
I think zesty barbecue would probably be the emphasis.
Well, I mean, I think the introduction of barbecue, I think hitting barbecue a little bit more wouldn't be a bad decision, specifically because that's what we're talking about the rest of the time. It's the foreshadowing. So like White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then the rest of it goes into, talking about the barbecue and everything that's going on. I don't know. What do you guys think? Does that sound right to you? Does that not sound right?
Yeah. No, I can live with that.
Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you want to have like the crest of your tone right on barbecue. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Something like that.
Yeah. And then
you definitely don't want to punch
Joe,
saucy.
Tell you the truth, I interpret it the same way Joe did. It seems like it's three separate tones to those three separate words. It just brings out the qualities of all those different characteristics better, in my opinion.
Well, to your point, John, I agree with you. It's almost like if you remember when we had Cliff Zellman on, and he said you'd have like the three different things. It would almost be like an NBC thing.
That's what I'm saying. Joe brought it up right away. I have to agree with him.
Yeah. So it'd be almost the same way, like tangy, zesty barbecue sauce.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, but
that's how I read it.
The thing is that zesty barbecue is actually a type of
but
barbecue.
just because the
tangy is actually just describing the zesty barbecue.
I see your point.
I'll defer to the Texans on barbecue.
Alrighty then.
No, this is good. This is good. This is
Yeah.
definitely a good talking
Nobody
point here
can
because
barbecue as good as a Texan.
but I think this is a really good point of discussion here because what's actually going on. Is it tangy, zesty barbecue? Is the tangy describing the zesty barbecue?
That's what it looks
or
like.
And just
or
because
is it doesn't have a comma, so it's tangy, zesty barbecue.
just because it doesn't have a comma doesn't mean there can't be a comma there.
Yeah,
When you-
I know.
And just because there is a comma doesn't always mean that you have to, live with the comma.
Yeah.
And to Michael's point, if we're the focus is barbecue because this is the first time it's mentioned, and you're telling why saucy is what kind of saucy, it's barbecue saucy.
See,
It
my
it
other
makes-
problem is that tangy barbecue is also a thing too. So
Yeah, I mean it's a specific type of barbecue. Tangy barbecue is different from you get your vinegar based barbecues and you get your heat based barbecues, and this is a tangy zesty
Brown sugar and mustard.
Yeah. Sweet.
Yeah.
So then, how about we do this? How about we go ahead and have everybody read it both ways? Because I have a funny feeling we're not going to, people aren't going to quite be able to hit it all in their first read.
Yeah.
So how about we go ahead and approach it both ways during a read? So tangy, zesty, barbecue saucy, or tangy, zesty, barbecue saucy.
Okay.
Everybody cool with that?
Cool.
Like read the whole thing through twice and hit them different, or just like
Yeah,
stop.
yeah. When we actually do our takes, like for the first take, you can take it however you feel most comfortable the first time. But when you do it again, do it the opposite way.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Mouth-watering sliders.
Yeah, this is technically a really long sentence because it's just broken up by dashes.
See,
and I copied it specifically as it was written. So yes, the first one is just a single dash, and the second one is a double dash. I have no idea why those were different, but that's how it was. And this is what you'd be seeing if you were auditioning for it. So I kept it as close to the source material as possible. But all right, go ahead.
I was going to say on this one, this is kind of why I interpreted the script. I know it says he's kind of thinking to himself, dreaming of barbecue sliders.
Mm-hmm.
But aside from the first line, the rest of it's delivered to somebody.
Well, I agree. I agree. A good portion of it is
mouth-watering sliders, and then the rest of it's all commands, and it's like, whoa,
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because let's face it, almost every script has a little bit of comedy to it, unless it has something to do with healthcare. What I'm seeing here, this is my interpretation. I think he's still talking to himself, but this is a sort of a comedic example of the inner voice becoming a second person. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
So like the person, so like it starts off in their head, White Castle's bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty, barbecue saucy. And then immediately that inner voice that seems like it's in control of the character suddenly, develops its own mind, turns around, and starts talking to the character itself in the script.
That makes sense if being a TV commercial, you see this guy sitting there around a campfire, he's got a plate of beans in front of him, he's looking at him, and all of a sudden it switches to this little cowboy in his head talking to him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and who knows? It could be. I made the assumption that it is a radio script simply because generally 30 seconds is radio, and generally this block writing, seeing it here as like a full-on block, is a radio spot. But this could fit in as a TV spot if it's taken that way. So I guess we should have agreed on that. Are we going to take it as a radio spot or a TV spot?
As far as the acting style goes, it can be done old radio show style to bring that kind of imaging into your head.
I mean, they may turn that middle section into like they might dumb it down to where it's like a little bitty voice like this, like, you know what I mean? Where they do in the post-production. You never know. It could be him talking to himself.
I don't think a voice like that would fit in, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think they'd do that.
You
Oh,
want
what-
the precious.
The way that
Yeah,
that
suddenly
I'm
becomes Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Ew. Not a Lord of the Rings fan. The way I'm seeing this is he's going into, like you're saying, he's sitting around the campfire and, he's heard that they're bringing that back and, we need to corral. And it's that second inside voice talking about how yummy and wonderful this stuff is compared to that crappy plate of beans he's got in front of him. So that's the way I took it. Is it could be a second self talking to himself. Boy, I really need to corral some mouthwater and sliders. Like those pulled pork, barbecue, bacon, chicken. He's just going, mom. He's getting his mouth all ready to eat some of these goodies, and then I like the fourth wall thing personally. So, and then he's talking, hey, so I know this stuff is good, so you need to get along to White Castle and rope yourself some stuff. That's why
I can see him like tossing the plate of beans and like riding off.
One of the pre-life to this could be literally, what, beans again?
Damn it, Cookie.
Yeah. But I heard White Castle's bringing saucy back.
Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy.
A lot better than what you got on these here beans, boy. I can tell you that right now.
What are you talking about? What's wrong with pork and beans?
Love them. Lived on van camps when I was a kid in the summer. We had them all the time.
First off, I ain't no pork.
Yeah.
White Castle's bringing beans back. Flatulent, horrible, nasty beans.
We're talking around the campfire on blazing
Corral
saddles.
some mouth-watering friholies like barbecue bacon beans or barbecue bacon chicken beans. Or it's made with
The original cleansing meal.
Okay. So then let's go ahead and nail this down right here. Are we going to take it as a TV script where this voice is talking to, themselves? It's basically the voice talking to the character on screen. Or are we going to take it as a radio script where it's talking to the audience? Personally,
I
my vote is going
say
towards TV
radio talking to the audience.
Okay.
I have to. I'm in the radio camp.
Okay.
Yeah, I read it as radio when I saw it.
Yeah,
But
right.
again, it's got too many commands in it to be somebody just
Yeah,
thinking themselves.
I agree with Frank and Joe as far as the commands go. I mean, that's the way it struck me every time I read it. So
Yeah,
Yep.
and of course with a descriptive 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99, and usually with a television script, they've got
It's gonna
something
show it on screen.
and you're reading text and they've stopped talking at one point.
Like
So
we're all
then-
radio.
I'm the only dissenting voice. Okay, so we're reading it as a radio script. All right.
We're having a mutiny.
What was that?
Mutiny.
It's right. That's Michael's new
Oh,
theme.
hey, there's no mutiny in here. Just because we host it doesn't mean doesn't mean we have any more or less sway than anybody else.
Yeah. As we all start getting deleted and just held in the weeds.
Yeah, it's like no, I'm not going to kick anybody. Okay, Frank's first. Then we'll go with
I don't know why Frank disappeared all of a sudden.
Frank lost connection. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
it's like that one connection. It's like that one. Oh man, what was it? Is it like that? I think it was a CNN interview. It looks like we lost connection. That sucks. We'll try to get him back.
Yeah.
yeah,
with all the
one interview like that, right? Just one time.
But anyway, so we're sitting firmly in the radio camp. Alrighty then. So moving on. Next, we'll go with corral some mouth-watering sliders. That whole big long sentence. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Where are the emphases? Where are the major points that need to have, that little bump, or maybe ideas that need to be bracketed together? Where do those fall?
Well, you'd be emphasizing mouth-watering for sure, because that's going to give people this. Oh man, there's a taste in this thing I want.
So I'm also thinking sliders because that's actually what we're selling.
Well,
Corral
yes
some
and no. I agree that mouth watering definitely does need to be emphasized, but I don't think sliders really needs that much emphasis, especially since we just emphasized mouth-watering. Because then you're slowing down 2 words and suddenly, the emphasis is becoming really, really long. Corral some mouth-watering sliders.
Corral some mouth-watering sliders.
Mouth-watering.
I mean,
I
that's
think
all.
I'm firmly in the camp of mouth-watering needs to be.
Yeah, but not sliders.
Yeah, I don't think sliders needs the emphasis at all.
No.
That's all they sell anyway. They don't sound like they have other products. Everything they sell is a slider.
Yeah.
Pretty much. You're actually right, John. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's important to do a little bit of research on your potential client before you approach one of these.
Yeah,
just
they
to
don't
know
have
exactly.
many burgers that are like this big. In fact, none.
Bring home a sack.
Yeah, they don't have any Islands burgers. All right.
So this is one of those places where the adjective is actually emphasized.
Yeah.
Well,
then again, that's
in
pretty
going
standard
with the-
fare with food.
Yeah, that's true.
The other thing I see is there's another rule of 3 right after that. There's 3 separate
There's lots
recipes
and lots
they're
and
talking
lots
about.
of threes here.
Yeah.
Okay, so and for this one, I would say like for your 3s, you'd take barbecue pulled pork as 1, you take barbecue chicken, bacon chicken as 1, and then the barbecue slider is 1.
Right. So the made with hickory smoked bacon is an aside, and
Right.
the 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions is another aside. But you don't want to
Right.
de-emphasize it too much, but you definitely need to have a different tone with those descriptions.
I think, though, you definitely need to bracket together barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon. I think all of that does need to be.
I've got a
compressed
comment.
together, 'cause- what was that?
I've got a comment at the end of mine. I put a comment at the end of
Oh,
mine.
okay. Okay. Mhm. Alrighty then.
Hot in here.
So, got to get a fan or something going. So, now that we've got all that sort of pinned down, so get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. We're just going to go, okay, we'll just go from there to the rest, to the end of the sentence, or end of the spot. What's going on there? Where should the emphases fall? What are things that we need to pay attention to?
The breath should be after White Castle. We talked about this last week because you're selling and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. That breath right there between only a couple of you guys did it today, which was awesome. I was like, wow, I did actually only heard it twice today. Last week it was crazy. But you're trying to make sure that that's all one thought.
Okay. So essentially, we're putting a comma right behind White
Castle. Yeah.
White Castle.
A breath.
So we
yeah.
keep rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. We want to keep all that together. So a breath needs to happen earlier on because that is kind of a mouthful. It is kind of a long sentence. You got to get through it. So can everybody agree? We'll put a comma after White Castle as a note that that's where you need to take your breath.
Yeah.
Can I just run through the whole thing without a breath?
That's my feeling on it.
Philip
If you
did it.
can, go for it.
Philip did. I heard it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I heard Philip. He did it. He went all the way through without a breath. I was like,
should
wow.
you should have the lung capacity to get through that sentence, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying, if it happens to catch you off guard, that would be a good place to take a breath.
I noticed that Joe took a little bit of a pause right before 2 stacks of fries.
Yeah, he did after and. I actually heard it too, but it actually worked with the character he was doing.
Yeah.
I actually heard that too.
After and.
Yeah, you took your pause after and, which actually worked for the character you did. Rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's emphasizing it and 2 stacks of fries
Yeah,
for only $9.99.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah, that definitely needs some emphasis, but I don't think that heavy of an emphasis. That might come off as a little too salesy.
Yeah, in general, I felt that a lot of the preliminary reads sounded really over the top for me.
Mm-hmm.
So be a little careful for that. Also, this is partly critiquing myself because I didn't even read the directions until after I had done my read. But
then again,
I'm getting. Yeah, I'm getting the strong impression that we should sound more starving and a little less drooling.
Well, why don't you read it and show us exactly how that's supposed to sound, Leonard?
He's second.
Yeah, he's second. So we'll give him that direction when he goes up to read. But let's get the rest of this down. Barbecue is back at White Castle. What should we be doing with that?
Barbecue's back at White Castle. I don't know. That one's tough.
I think the billboard is around barbecue is back.
Yep.
And then I wouldn't say necessarily billboard, but end it strong with White Castle. Like, don't let that just drop off. Don't be like at White Castle. But I don't think it needs the same kind of emphasis as barbecue is back.
Yeah.
So something along the lines of, barbecue is back at White Castle.
You could even actually, for emphasis, it wouldn't sound bad to put a slight pause in between back and at.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh,
You know,
Barbecue is back at White
barbecue,
Castle.
like emphasizing the barbecue.
White Castle. Yeah.
It goes something along the lines of barbecue is back at White Castle. Something along that.
Yeah, barbecue is back. We want to make sure both of those are hit because that's sort of like the little phrase calling back to what was initially set up with the first two sentences.
Absolutely.
Yep. Barbecue is back at White Castle. I know I dropped off on the White Castle, but
yeah, and strong. Remember, the finish line is past the last period.
At White Castle, I'm gonna go get me some right now.
At White Castle.
At White
All right, then. So now that we have it all agreed, let's go ahead, go back through, and we'll start our directed reads. So, Philip, you were up first. Go for it. Take it away.
All right. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecued pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef, topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original have I done? So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. What did everybody think of that read? Let's give them some feedback.
I think it was really good. The only thing I think it was missing was that like that dreamy feel, like you're sick of eating the beans and you're dreaming of the barbecue sliders.
Yeah, I was going to say bringing a little more of the starving in, so then you have the visions of this food and
all right.
Yeah,
sound like your stomach is your stomach hurts so much because you haven't eaten it forever, and here's this vision of food. Yeah.
Yeah. Just make it sound more dreamy, like you really want it. Because you just, when you got into the Corral some mouth-watering side, as soon as you hit that, it just became like a list. It was just you reading a list with a slight accent.
And
it didn't have the dreaminess to it.
And the other thing too is watch the tendency to say barbecued as opposed to barbecue.
Barbecue.
You were putting a D on the end of both the barbecues.
Oh.
It was subtle, but it was there. You went like barbecued pulled pork and barbecued bacon chicken.
I just noticed that there's one that's BBQ.
Oh yeah.
I just paid attention to that. I wonder if that needs to be read as BBQ.
I'm thinking
if it's original. But if it's original, that might be the menu item. The menu item itself might be the BBQ slider.
That's what I was thinking it was. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Have you ever eaten at White Castle? I wouldn't be able to.
And neither have I. I'm just assuming here. I don't know if somebody wants to bring up their menu and see if the BBQ slider is actually on there as the BBQ slider, then
it'd still be barbecue.
Well, I mean, if you go to White Castle and you order a barbecue slider, I'm pretty sure they're going to know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm just saying, just to cover our bases in case they're really, really uptight about something like that, because you never know what a client is uptight about.
I'm about to look. I'm about to look.
I'm looking already. I'm there.
I've got it stacking up right now.
It says Western BBQ grilled chicken, but that's the only one on there that says anything about BBQ. So
okay, well then, we'll just call it the barbecue slider and hope for the best.
Okay.
Because all it says on here for the original, it just says the original slider.
Okay.
But that's the only one that makes any mention of barbecue is a Western BBQ grilled chicken.
Okay. All right. Well, then we'll just stick with barbecue and let's stop talking about food too much outside of the script because I am getting hungry. So Philip,
yes,
back to the read. Give it some dreaminess. You don't want yourself to just be checking off, items on a list. You're really thinking about these. All right. The character really wants these barbecue sliders.
All right.
The other thing I noticed is you changed from barbecue pulled pork, and then the rest of that read was exactly the same tone.
Oh man.
The barbecue chicken all the way through onions it had the emotion, but it had the feel, but it was all the same tone. Like we were doing that 3-step part, talking about them separately.
All right, I'll try to give it more levels.
Peaks and valleys. We need more peaks and valleys.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
That's another thing I've noticed. You're emphasizing castle on White Castle.
Oh, right.
And you sped through that.
Yeah. Okay, I was hoping it wasn't some kind of connection issue because
it might have been. It was me too. So
did anybody else hear the speed up?
Yeah, it was a little fast.
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah.
Something you might want to try is adding somewhere in there. Because once again, I'm not hearing that feeling like you actually want to eat these. It's more of just going down the list again.
Aww.
Like barbecue pulled pork. Like think about adding that after the end of everything. Just add it in your mind because when you speak to somebody who's really enthusiastic about a food place, like haven't you heard that sort of like dreaminess that comes out about the food there? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Where you can almost hear them going like, after all the descriptions.
I did mine after where the double dash is for original barbecue slider. I figured that's what they wanted right there, was something to like break it up a little bit instead of just like the single dash that they had before.
Well, the only reason why I bring that up though is I don't think that should be included if it's not written in personally though. That's just my own opinion. But I think the feeling still needs to be there. That feeling when you're describing the whole thing. Like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% topped with crispy fried onions.
You're imagining each item separately.
Yeah. You see what I mean?
And then there's this one, and then there's this one.
Yeah, that's what I think we're trying to focus a little bit more on. Right. Unless I'm wrong, unless somebody else has a differing opinion, please let me know if you do. But I think that's sort of the goal we're going for here.
Oh, I think that's exactly it. It happened to me when I was leaving our Mexican restaurant that's just up the road from us. I got if anybody's ever got it, it's in a stone bowl that they bring the stuff out. Oh, it just makes my mouth drool every time it comes out. And the guy sitting at another table went, "What did he order? I didn't know that they had that." And so as I was leaving the restaurant, his wife goes, "Sir, pardon me." I went, "Yes." She goes, "Was that it really good? What was it that you had?" And so that's exactly what I did was, and it had this in it, and all the vegetables were still crisp, and the sauce is just, and exactly that. what you're talking about is exactly what I did.
Waiter, I'm changing my order.
Yeah, he like I saw it. I just happened to look up as he was looking over, going like, "Oh, that looks really good." I'm having that the next time, he said when I was leaving.
All right,
I
so
guess I
Phil,
told him.
Yes.
think about the last time you ate something that was really delicious and that just stuck out in your mind, and take those sort of that sort of feeling, the way you would describe that to somebody, and apply that to this.
All right.
Go for it.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue sauce. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef, topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. What did everybody think of that?
Better.
A lot
Yeah,
better. He still put a little bit too much emphasis on Castle when he did
That's
White
what I was about to say.
Yeah, only when he said, "So get along to White Castle." The other two sounded great.
Yeah, I don't think he was quite hungry enough, but it was a big improvement over. It didn't sound as much like this as before. You need to be a little hungrier. Don't eat when you come to these things the next time.
Yeah. As he's sitting there eating now.
Eating right, yeah.
How's those
I don't
beans
get
taste
taste,
till we're
though.
done?
All right, so imagine like a lemon pepper salmon with a mango topping and just
I thought we were talking about food.
You almost made me spit water on my papers.
You had me all the way up until mango.
oh
say
no,
that.
a mango salsa topping is
Yeah, you had me all the way up until there too.
No,
That's why you do spicy.
ain't happening.
Mexican
Honestly,
doesn't do
my only note this time, if you're going to go for a third read, which I feel you should, is take the emphasis off of Castle because it's kind of throwing off your flow.
Oh, okay.
You know, White Castle.
White
Castle's just the follow-up, just White Castle.
The whole name. If you have to, just do this when you say White Castle.
Either that or just delete the spaces. Just turn it into one word, White Castle.
All right.
I learned this from someone about
In here.
emphasizing the product.
It was in here. It was in the VA. It was in the mic check.
Oh,
no,
really?
I learned it on another thing.
No.
Anyway, go for it.
All right. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef, topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. All right.
Yay!
You still hit Castle on that second to last one, but
Yeah.
it's all right. It's all right. All in all,
you
that was a
made me
much.
hungry with that second paragraph, though. Second paragraph.
Yeah, all in all, that was a much improved read. Definitely.
Thanks a lot.
Much improved read. Way to go. All right. Next up is Leonard.
Leonard.
Okay. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. First thing I noticed is you hit saucy on the second sentence. So
Yep.
it sounded a little odd. You emphasize that second saucy after tangy, zesty barbecue. So you want to watch that.
Yep.
We'll want to emphasize tangy, zesty barbecue. Did anybody else have anything they wanted to mention? Any other notes? Go ahead.
You sounded hungry.
That's what I was going for.
Sounded almost like a pet adoption commercial in a way. It's like, would you like to bring home a wonderful little barbecue slider?
The one where the dog is looking up at
Yeah, exactly.
It would be like, this is a little too heavy-handed, even for me. So then, how would you suggest that he fixes that?
Well, don't try. I mean, some people can pull off that kind of thing. I mean, I think at least, and some people can't. Maybe don't try and be as, just use your own voice a little more, and just through emphasis, you should be able to do it. You're sounding too soft when you're reading it.
Yeah,
don't try to be soft when you're reading it. I would say use your own natural voice. You've got a decent voice, Leonard, so use it, but just make sure you hit your emphasis points on the spot more so than trying to play a character. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when you were trying to do it soft, it kind of came out just to me a little bit flat. There wasn't enough undulations or different voice pitches or getting more excited as you're going through the food. Something it just seemed a little on the flat side. So.
Mm.
Because I mean, you're talking meat, you're talking cowboy, and all this, and like I said, it sounded almost like you were, like I said, trying to get somebody to adopt a pet or something like that.
Okay.
And I don't mean
I
don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, it was too soft and sweet sounding and mushy sounding, as opposed to being a commercial for barbecue.
Okay. Yeah, I was noticing that about halfway through, but I couldn't really change at that point.
I'm Roma Downey, here to talk to you about White Castle hamburgers.
Exactly.
All right. Well, go ahead and give this another read.
Okay. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Better.
I have one thing.
A little bit rushed through the middle, but better.
After corral some mouth-watering sliders, it sounded like there was no separation other than the spaces between barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken, and the original barbecue slider. It was like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. I mean, it didn't sound any different whatsoever.
Yeah, there was no hungry sounding there.
Yeah.
Okay, a little more separation.
Yeah, like vocal separation, like the up and down, like the NBC part.
Okay.
Yeah, more ups and downs.
That's the only thing I heard that could be improved on. Everything else sounded great.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Go for it. No, go for it.
Okay, one more. Well, let me have a drink. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Beautiful.
Fantastic.
Okay. Good job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go lots better. Big improvement.
a dog pen staring at me going,
All right. So who's going next?
That'd be me.
John, yeah.
Go for it, John.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Opening it up. What did y'all think?
Slow it down a little bit.
Yeah.
A little fast, little too speedy.
Just barbecue bacon chicken and the original barbecue are the same.
Now,
That's pretty much what I'm being picky, is that center part, because
When you say the same, what do you mean?
like like I was telling Leonard, he did all 3 of them the same. Yours was just the barbecue pulled pork was completely separate from the rest of it, but barbecue bacon chicken and original barbecue sounded identical.
Okay. Not enough. Okay, I understand.
You're in too big a hurry to go eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it sounded like somebody, like a restaurant employee who was reading off the menu, as opposed to somebody who's longing after this food that you want but can't get.
Yeah, there you go. That actually makes sense.
Yeah, because when John, when you're doing the list of the different burgers, it's that same NBC principle that goes there. It doesn't just happen if you got like 3 words in a row. You can get that way.
Yeah.
When you've got 3 different items like that you're describing.
Yeah. I understand. I guess I just didn't emphasize them as much as I should.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, because that would be the best way to do it, is kind of just your inflections, down, up, down, or whatever the case may be.
All right. Anything else?
That's it. Give it another go.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecued pulled pork, barbecued bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
that sounded like a more relaxed read.
Mm-hmm.
My one thing that stuck out to me as a little odd was how you put the emphasis in the second to last sentence on yourself. So rope yourself a bundle of 8 original bar. I don't know if that's where the emphasis should be. That's just my opinion, though. I don't know. Did anybody else hear that? Did that sound strange to anybody else?
Yeah, well, I think it should be the call to action. So get along to White Castle.
Yeah, okay. I think get along should definitely have emphasis, and like all the way up to leading to 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. There should be a little dip, and then you come back up for that. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries. If you're really going for a call to action, you want the actionable item up top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
To keep everything else the same, make that change.
The middle part was awesome. The middle part was awesome.
Yeah. Do everything else just as you were doing. Just change up that last little bit.
All right. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty, barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecued pulled pork, barbecued bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Much improved.
Yeah. And the thing is that you rushed through that first sentence on that last section, but it sounded natural. It sounded like So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. It actually sounded natural, even with the rest of the read. It sounded like it was a little bit faster, but it still sounded natural. Like, that's, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, the whole thing flowed way better. It sounded great.
Thanks.
You done good.
Wait a minute, John.
All right. Well, I'll pass the torch then.
Nicely done.
Oh, was I after you?
Frank. No, Frank is after me.
Oh,
Frank
okay.
was after. I'm going. I got lost. I don't remember who was.
Yeah, I don't remember either. So
I just know I'm after Frank. That's all I remember.
I think I'm
And I picked Joe.
I got a list.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Leonard.
all right, here we go. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty. Take 2. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
I got
No, well, I don't know if anybody else caught this, but it actually felt more like the sandwiches were more like car features. It felt a little too straight up salesy. At least that's what it came off to. Me. Did anybody else? Did anybody else hear that at all?
Well,
am I the only one?
I noticed something with that part. Not interpreted exactly the car salesman way. But,
that's the best way I can think of to describe it.
Okay, it works.
Go ahead.
Just the same criticism that I got as far as varying the tone and bringing out each of the 3 characteristics of the sandwiches separately, because it all kind of ran together.
Did it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Practice what I preach is what you're saying, eh, John?
Oh, that was you was picking on me. I'm sorry. I didn't remember.
Oh, that was me.
Castle
Yeah.
e-learning script.
Yeah, he
A
was
White
right.
Castle e-learning script. White Castle is bringing saucy back.
Yeah, that
Yes,
was just me.
you zesty barbecue saucy.
Yeah, I heard Sam Elliott, and I was just like, nope, I'm done.
Slide 2.
Click next to hear more about the barbecue bacon chicken.
Website
Open the next window.
But anyway, I think that the one thing that I heard, a better way to describe it, is it didn't feel so much dreamy as it did more of a list.
Okay.
It felt a little bit more salesy than dreamy. So
Okay. Well, I'll try it again.
please do.
All right.
And get it right. I'm just kidding.
I'll try, boss. I'll try. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Okay. Definitely more improved on the list section, although this last time you emphasized saucy in that second sentence.
Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy there?
Yeah, well, that's the right emphasis. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy, but you said tangy, zesty barbecue saucy.
Oh, okay.
So you threw a little bit more of an elbow on saucy on that one.
I wonder if I threw him into
Well,
that.
that's because I'm from Canada. Hockey.
On the first
Yeah, hockey. I know you're throwing elbows all over the place, but this is food. This is a different passion.
He slammed
I didn't pick up on that, and I apologize for it.
And it's sliders. It's sliders, not sliders.
This is sliders.
Sliders, see? It's how
Yeah,
we say
well-
it up here in the Great White North there, by.
So go ahead and delete the I and just add 2 A's.
Yeah.
Sliders.
Sliders.
Well, yeah, and I guess with the accent too. Okay, I will try it. I will try it one more time, and then I will pass the torch to whoever is next. So
No, that was just me being it.
Well, just do the first two sentences.
Okay.
That's it.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy.
There you go. That's better. Better emphasis on that one.
All right, who's next?
Thank you, Canadian Cowboy. All right, who's up next?
Dan.
I am.
It is Dan. Dan, go for it. Show us how it's really done.
Yeah, come on, Dan.
Oh man, this is too much pressure. I don't know if I can do this.
Down there in the home of barbecue.
That's why we are all here.
Hey, I'm not from Kansas. Oh. White Castle's bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle. And, sorry, I keep on hitting my screen.
Just pick it up. Just pick it up.
So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. A little slow.
Yeah, I know.
I think you need to work yourself up a little bit more. Like there needs to be a little bit of excitement to finally have something different other than beans. This was pretty tame in regards to all that. Like you're the emphases and delivery and stuff like that. Well, delivery is the issue. The emphases and word placement and stuff like that wasn't necessarily a problem, but it was definitely the feel of the character. It was the delivery that came off as just this really sort of laid back, like
You sounded like you were stoned and you needed White Castle at midnight.
yeah, like you're stoned and thinking like, oh man, some White Castle sliders would be so good right now.
Well, I did hear the
Fries,
hunger.
man. Come on, you know.
Yeah, I did hear the hunger in that. so
Starving.
I'm happy with that.
I'm starving.
There is some hunger, but like I would say, if you're gonna go with that character, work the character up just a little bit. I'm not saying like go all out with like super excited, like I need to have this food right now, but be like, man, yeah, I could really go for a burger. You know, like have that feel going.
So yeah, you were definitely shooting for the 45-second commercial more than the 30.
Yeah, he did sound a bit like, I do declare, believe I'm having a case of the vapors. I swear.
If I don't get me a slider soon, I'm going to have a case of the vapors. I swear.
I just need me some White Castle. I'm just hungry. I just don't know.
All right, Dan, let's hear it again. But this time, communicate
Speed
your
up.
hankering for a slider.
Ooh,
Yeah, a little bit of
hankering.
hankering.
Good word.
That's right. You see me, I'm sweating.
It's game in the same boat.
Yeah. White Castle's bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle. Yeah, I did that in Georgia, sorry.
Doesn't
sound like Texas.
You definitely got to be careful where you're coming from with that one. Yeah. So you got yourself a good Georgia accent going, but you really want to have yourself a Texas accent. Come on. That's where you're from.
It's still Southern. It's still Southern.
I know it's still Southern, but here we're
It's the
talking
Georgia Cowboys.
It was Richard
There is no state more iconic for barbecue than Texas.
Oh
man.
my God.
No state more iconic than that. You better put more of that out.
Oh, man. All right. Let me do it again.
Yeah, one other note there. I felt there was a little too much pause there between the items in the list, like the barbecue pulled pork.
Yeah, no, I was
bacon
doing,
chicken.
yeah.
Yeah.
In my head. That's
Okay.
Well, again, even the timing stays in your head.
Yeah.
They'll pick you for that in Texas.
Well, I was actually doing Louisiana, or wait, no, I was doing Georgia. Now
Yeah, you-
doing, Tennessee,
Right.
and
Let's hear you, Texas, man. Let's hear Texas.
You got to get
Oh,
back to Texas, man.
I got to get back to Texas. All right. White Castle is bringing some. Keep on bumping it. Don't know why.
I thought you had it set to Louisiana or something.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. What did everybody think?
I heard more of the hunger there again.
That was Texas. That wasn't Georgia or Alabama or anything.
Yeah.
I know all of the Southern accents, so it's kind of hard to when Richard pulled off the Aunt Jemima thing on me. I was like,
No other notes for him?
I like
I
it.
think the emphasis on the last barbecue is back wasn't there.
barbecue is back at White Castle.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
then I lose the White Castle. Hold on. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
You got it.
So Nathan wanted me to do it in my little old lady voice too last week. So
We'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. But we're under
Okay.
we're under a time constraint. We got to move on. So,
all right,
who's
so
going next?
Joe is next.
Joe.
Yep.
Blow us out of the water, Joe.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with fried, crispy onions. There's lots of them. A whole mess of onions on them. Get along the White Castle. Rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep. Barbecue is back at White Castle.
I noticed a little problem about the onions.
Wait, how many onions were there? How many? What kind?
Sometimes they use it. The ad lib was great because sometimes they actually use it.
Crispy onions.
Yeah, I don't know though. I actually lost, what kind of onions and how many there were in that.
Refried.
They're just
Refried onions.
Fried it so well, I could taste the onions.
fried, crispy fried onions.
So
There's a lot of them.
Remix.
my only issue with it personally is that I think your character feels really serious.
Ah.
Like, did anybody else get that?
I guess.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Like the character feels really serious, and I think toning that down just a little bit.
A little stern.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, more like we don't want him to be hangry. We just want him to be hungry.
I'm gonna give me some White Castle if I had to kill somebody.
Okay.
Wait, who do we lose?
We don't want to have to give you a Snickers.
All right, boy, we're going outside.
Oh, hey, this is getting a little serious here.
That's
Calm down. It's just voiceover.
Okay. Is that the only note? Just
That's my only note, at
turn
least.
up and smile.
Yeah, and also we need more on the onions.
Okay, more onions.
You just dropped the ball on that onion, man. We need more.
Okay.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecued pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle, rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Yeah.
All right. Print it.
back.
We're done. That's it. Congratulations. Thanks, everybody, for joining us this week on the mic check. There's no way we can follow that up.
I just want to know if you can do that without the change in your voice and pull the accent and do the same read.
That'd be hard. Yeah. You know why? Because the Stern guy he actually has a name. That's Big Jim McBob. And so when I do Big Jim, he's Stern. And when I toned him down, he became a different character. So
Well, he became Middle Jim, and let's make him Tiny Jim.
Tiny Jim.
Let's make him Joe Jim. Joe Jim.
Bob.
Son of Big Jim.
Mixing a little Boss Hog.
Because it does still have a little bit of that serious tone, but it's still a fun serious tone instead of like the original one, which was like deadly serious tone.
Yeah.
So I just want to hear the fun Joe Jim Bob.
Oh, okay. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. Get along to White Castle. Rope yourself a bundle of 8 original. Right? Rope yourself a bundle of barbecue sliders, 2 stacks of fries for $9.99. Yep, barbecue's back at White Castle.
That was perfect. I have no problem with it.
Really
I don't have a problem. There's absolutely 0 notes that I have on that. I don't really care what happened.
Leave it like that.
Leave it. Yeah, we'll rewrite the script. That's fine.
Was that on an LP with a DJ going rope?
So hungry, he's punch drunk.
We could turn a rap song out of that.
And you still got it in 30 seconds. So
but honestly, like real talk right now. That the lightening up of the voice, slightly altering the character, creating a new one, however it was that you did in your mind, that was perfect.
Yeah, much more believable character. Much more
believable, much more approachable too.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, like the previous Stern character, what was it?
The first one, the Deadly Stern.
Yeah. It almost felt like you were 3 seconds away from either being invited next to the fire or getting shot. Like one or the other.
The second one was a little bit more fun, more. What's the word? More friendly, but he was still stern, so he really still wasn't that approachable. This guy, oh dude, I'd hang out with him all day.
Hey, Wildcat, I'll be your Huckleberry.
I think Richard's up next.
Oh, That me. All right. Yeah, I don't know that we're going to keep your safe record there on that one. All right, here we go. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. What did everybody think?
He took that breath.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was well placed, but
yeah,
he took the breath. And any particular notes about his performance?
I got a little more of the feel again of here I am presenting this feast for you as opposed to, oh, I really want this stuff that I'm not getting.
Yeah. I actually agree with Leonard on that one too.
Yep, I think that's
Channel the hankering. You're hankering for a good slider, a good barbecue slider. Channel that.
Slider.
Slider. Slider. Slider.
Slider.
Say it with me now, everybody. Everybody at the same time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Slider. Here we go. That's how you pronounce it. Slider.
You know, it's great for me. I live in the South. I live with a woman from Kentucky, so I get the accent all the time. I get there and stay.
Another note is that I feel it was a little slow. What does everybody else think, though? You think his pacing was okay, or maybe it was a little slow?
I kind of like the pace. I thought the pace was inviting.
Anybody else agree with that?
It was inviting, but I think it was a little drawn out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe just a touch faster. Yeah, exactly. Half step quicker. There you go.
There you go. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
That actually worked for the plate for the breath. That actually worked.
When he hit that at White Castle, I hear, and I'm a-going.
And we're off.
I really enjoyed the build up on each item. He got a little bit more excited with each one.
Yeah, that actually drew my attention as well.
Well, you have to start low enough so it doesn't go way over the top there.
And yeah, you took your breath after fries, and that actually worked. 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. That actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where it was going to have to be, because I didn't take it earlier.
Well,
otherwise it would have been for only $9.99.
Another note on that, Reed. I think you might have dragged out barbecue in that second one a little bit too long. I'd like for you to put it more on bacon chicken, because barbecue is in there each different time, and if you emphasize it differently, it's going to stick out really awkwardly. And I think that's kind of what happened with that second barbecue. Did anybody else hear that? Like, you really dragged that one out a bit longer?
The barbecue bacon chicken, yeah, he did.
Yeah. So I don't think barbecue really needs that emphasis, but definitely bacon chicken.
Okie dokies.
And that's the only one still on the menu.
Was a piece back at that time? Did that speed it up just enough to?
Yeah. No, everything else was perfect. Everything else was absolutely perfect. My only note is just barbecue bacon chicken.
So just do that second paragraph again, or after corral.
So start with like barbecue pulled pork. Start
with corral. Start with corral.
Oh, okay. Corral mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right, we'll just edit that in. That'll be the take. Done.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. Fantastic read. Anybody else have any notes, anything they noticed about that read that they'd like to mention?
Well, it seemed like when you're going through the list, every item was higher up than the previous ones.
Yeah, well, he's building the energy. I actually heard that. So he was like, oh. You know what I mean?
And then there's and then there's that. And then there's, I forgot about that. Oh.
And then he smokes a cigarette.
Yeah. He needs some alone time.
Oh man.
I actually heard that too, and I was like, it worked for the way he was reading it.
Ditto. Same here.
But yeah, no, for the NBC thing, I actually agree with that too, because it does sound good. It makes you want that food. But the way that Richard just did it, it was like, man, I got this, and it
Well,
worked.
good thing the list wasn't any longer.
All right. So who is going next?
Sean.
Sean, you're up.
All right. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders, 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Okay. Something I noticed is that list in the middle kind of sounded like you were just remembering these things coming to mind rather than dreaming about them. So with the way that you sort of like stopped and attacked and then stopped and attacked and stopped and attacked, it felt like these ideas were just coming up into your head and then you're suddenly rolling with them until you hit another block. And you know, that's kind of what it sounded like to me. I would say smooth it out. Like these are like, you know, you got this. Oh yeah, then you've got this. Oh, and then you've got this. You know?
Gotcha.
Yeah, smooth it out. These are like, we having the idea coming, the idea coming up to your head is not a bad thing, but if you attack it too quickly, you're starting to throw in this whole different element of like, I'm getting really excited and I can't keep up with my own thoughts, rather than, oh man, I could really use a burger right now.
And the audience.
Yeah, I got essentially the same note. One of the words I wrote down here was choppy.
Okay.
So it felt a bit choppy to me. And also could use a little more highlight on the original barbecue sliders. It was more like original barbecue sliders.
Okay.
Yeah, remember, we're keeping the emphasis off of barbecue, except for that first one that's mentioned.
Which he missed because he emphasized zesty. He hit tangy, zesty barbecue saucy.
Well, he made up for it later.
Okay.
I had that highlighted because I was like, man, that's
All right, give it another go.
Okay, here we go. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon.
All right, I'm going to stop you right now because you're doing the same choppy thing again. Yeah.
So let's go back to the list.
You're chopping from one to the next, like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon. Smooth them out. Like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon made with hickory smoked barbecue, and the original barbecue slider. You know, like smooth them all out. You're going from, you don't want to chop too hard from one to the next. You want to let these things flow.
Barbecue pulled pork.
Yeah, start with corral. So we'll pick up from corral.
All right. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right, what did y'all think?
I'd still try to cut back on the pauses between the list items. There was a little, I know they flowed together a little better, but there was a bit too much of a pause there for me.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought the flow was a lot better this time, John. So, it's improving. You're getting there.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to tell you to think hunger. I don't know.
It's not a list that when Michael, when you brought that up the first time, it did sound like I'm going, well, yeah, it was a list, but it wasn't listy. So it's still a little bit on that side, what Michael was saying, but it's every time you're getting there.
Like just punching it a little too much.
Yeah. Definitely a short break is okay, but you don't want to extend it too long.
Okay.
Like the imagery is going to come up by your emphasis, not by your vocal emphasis, not your timing emphasis, especially with this list. So the vocal emphasis is going to be, like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider.
Cool.
So something more like that. Like allow the items to flow a little bit, but definitely use your voice and use a little bit of vocal tension or a little bit of elongation of things to give each item emphasis, if that's what you're going to do.
Cool. All right. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep. Tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider. 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Much better. Much better that time around. Very, very good.
You
did it.
There you go.
You done it.
I was believing you had a hankering for some barbecue.
I gotta go eat now. No.
I don't blame you whatsoever. All right.
Next.
Oh, Nathan.
Yeah.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All right. What did everybody think?
Okay, so I got the dreamy. I'm sorry. I'm the one that's talking the most because this is my.
Go for it. You're the barbecue guy.
It's okay. You're our resident Texan.
He's
eating barbecue today.
You're talking dreamy, but you're really breathy. That's why you have to take a break every 5 or 10 words, depending on what the sentence is.
All right, I'll make it a little less breathy, a lot more dreamy.
Yeah,
okay.
A lot more dreamy, less breathy. And the rest of it sounded actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Just one
I
little
leaned
nitpicking thing.
delivery
Anything?
sounded good. I
One
just
little-
want to be a fucking barbecue.
Just one small thing, Nathan.
Sounds like you're trying to whisper and nod at the same time.
What's that, John?
De-emphasize the price. You never want to, especially even if it's a discount, you don't want to talk up the price. You want to make it sound like it's insignificant, and
Okay,
you punched the price.
Yeah, remember what Cliff said. Almost give it with a shrug.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, a couple minor notes here. You also did the original barbecue slider. So highlight the original more than the barbecue. And you had, let's see, where was it? You had the barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon. So there was a bit of a disconnect between the chicken and the made with.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's because of the breathy. He took a breath
Yeah.
right there. I actually heard that too. So, but that's where I was trying to go with that was just keep the breathy out of it and just do you, Nathan. You can do this.
Yeah, I think that's the reason why when it came to the call for action on this, so get along to White Castle, you were still kind of breathy, and it's like, do you really want me to go, or is it just a suggestion? Yeah.
There
And
you go.
I think it was the breathy that was causing that.
Yep.
Get
And I think if you're gonna say slider, you should say barbecue instead of barbecue.
barbecue.
It's barbecue. It's
I said
barbecue.
barbecue.
Well, no, barbecue. Barbecue in Georgia.
Dang it, Bobby.
It's barbecue in Texas.
Look at Bobby.
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Maybe I just try this. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders, 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
All of them deliciously cooked on propane.
Right? Propane grill. The way it should be. The way God
Hey, wait a minute. Is that a fetish shop? Pink of the Hill? I sell pork.
That's what I was hearing.
Oh,
and
man.
propane accessories.
Okay. All right. We're veering off into non-family friendly territory. We'll let the adults, that'll just go on in their minds. We'll get back to voiceover here. Pattern break? I don't think that should be your take, though.
No, that should not be my take. But
Yeah, it felt like tonally there could use more variety. Like every sentence was read with the same. I know it wasn't flat, but it was the same tone sequence.
yeah.
I don't know if you got nervous or if you were stepping over yourself a bit, but when you're saying that long description of barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, you stumbled on that both times.
Yeah, there was actually no nerves in there at all. When I'm playing with character stuff, I'm always I have to stretch myself a little further to get outside my comfort zone.
Nathan, I'm going to do this. I'm going to ask you the same suggestion that I asked Joe. Do your voice with a Southern accent.
Okay. Well, okay. Just do my Southern accent.
Okay. I just want to hear it. Sorry.
Okay. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
I like
Much
that.
better. Yeah.
I like
Very,
that.
very good delivery.
I mean, other than the breath right there between barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries, but everything else was perfect.
I borrowed from my wife's influence. We have been influencing each other's accents. She was told the other day by someone that her Kentucky accent is kind of flattened out because of me. It's like, well, I don't see how it's possible, but I guess it's possible. So I roll through everything. Yeah, I could do a German accent. Why can't I speak a saucy bag? Nah, this doesn't sound right.
Yeah, well, we'll wait till afterwards, okay?
All right, time constraint here.
I believe
check.
that's me next.
Yep.
Right? Unless you guys want to hear Nathan go one more time. I don't want to.
No, actually, that was beautiful, except for that one breath right there between barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries. It was
That can be cut,
but that could be cut out. So
Yeah, and that was good. That was a good read.
yeah,
All
that
right,
was
take
that
it away,
was
Mike.
a good read.
All right. White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
No, Michael's been taking all the direction we've been giving. So hey, nice job.
I don't have a lot.
Why did you emphasize fries for the 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions?
I meant to put a little bit more emphasis on both crispy and fried. I might have accidentally put more emphasis on fried than I wanted to.
That's
Blame
that's
it
the
on
only-
Joe.
That's the only.
Yeah, it's Joe's fault. I was trying to come up with some way to ad lib the crispy fried onions part because he just did it so good. I don't know. I failed at it.
Those onions are pretty fried, man.
All right, I'll give it one more safety take, and I'll take a little bit less emphasis or spread it around a bit more. We'll see if I can actually manage that.
Okay.
White Castle is bringing saucy back. Yep, tangy, zesty barbecue saucy. Corral some mouth-watering sliders like barbecue pulled pork, barbecue bacon chicken made with hickory smoked bacon, and the original barbecue slider, 100% beef topped with crispy fried onions. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the onions were not over fried this time.
I didn't overfry my onions, okay.
Yeah,
There just weren't enough of them.
It felt a little odd with the in the end. Rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99.
Yeah, I didn't breathe very well there.
Yeah, that was the breath that I've been
Mhm.
talking about.
All right, let me just try that sentence. So get along to White Castle and rope yourself a bundle of 8 original barbecue sliders and 2 stacks of fries for only $9.99. Yep, barbecue is back at White Castle.
There we go.
That works.
Okay. Yeah,
Again,
I was actually prepared that time. I took a breath.
Yeah, you can take your breath after fries too. So I mean that worked for Richards. Was it yours that did that?
Yeah, that's the one you said.
You
Yeah.
could take your breath. You could take your breath after fries. It actually works.
I'm not going to quit just before I finish that sentence. You kidding me?
I made it this far. I'm going all the way.
Back in my day, you only had a certain number of breaths you could take for a sentence. We didn't have any of this easy editing crap.
Oh, God.
Well, anyway.
Linear editing.
Anyway, yeah, I think that's it for today. We'll go ahead and finish the recorded portion of the mic check, and we'll see y'all next week.